All right. Well, it's 7:30, ladies. I'm sure we're going to have other people joining us. Be sure to share. I've got a surprise to show you tonight. I ordered this pink sweatshirt. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. I ordered this pink sweatshirt from a company called B-E-E Attitudes. And they're in Nashville. And anyway, I'm going to show you what the sweatshirt looks like. I have to stand up a little bit, but on it, it says Queen Bee. What do you think? Isn't it cute? They have all kinds of workout wear. Of course, I won't work out in this. I guess I could wear it to yoga, but it's so comfy, and it came in the mail today, and I just had to put it on since we're doing the honeybee tonight. So anyway, Margaret has her calendar at work, and Mary Kay has shared. Hey, Debbie, welcome. All right, well, we're ready to get started, okay? And I will be giving away this calendar tonight, and it'll go in the mail tomorrow to someone. I'll flip it back around, and you can see the front, and when you pull this up, it has January on it. It has all 12 months, okay? I know, I can't wait to put mine on my desk. We've been working on this in class all month. So whenever I had a class this month, we made one. And then I had a team meeting last night and everybody made one. So I'm going to make one more tonight. All right, well, let's scoot on over to the measurements. Now, I will have a supply list this Friday, ladies, and it is going to include these measurements, as well as the scripture that I'm going to tell you about. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. So good to have you. Joanne, we are making a calendar this evening, and this is the other side. Okay, and I'll give you a closer look in a little bit. Hi, Suzanne. Welcome. I know, Suzanne, I'm all over this suite. I absolutely love it. So if any of this goes on back order, like the stamp set or the dies or the paper, it's because I have it all, okay? So when that happens, just email or call me and I'll see that you get some of the supply, okay? But these are our measurements, and boy, does it have a lot of pieces, tons of pieces. So, I mean, it's fairly easy to put together, but there's a lot of cutting. All right, so take a screenshot, or you can take a photo with your camera if you want, okay? All right, I'll give you just a few more seconds with that. Hi, Terry, welcome. I know, I love my shirt. And did everybody see my sweatshirt that I'm wearing tonight? It's from a company called B Attitudes, B-E-E Attitudes, and they're in Nashville. So they're just a local homegrown company, and they sell really cute athletic wear, and it has a bee on it. Some say be kind, be happy, all kinds of bees. All right, well, we're gonna get started, okay? I'm gonna show you where you can find the bundle, all right? It's in our mini catalog, and when I say mini, I am talking about this catalog right here that has the poppies on it, okay? And if you don't have this catalog, I need to know so that I can mail you one. All right, so if you turn to page 30, you're going to see the Honey Bee stamp set and the detailed bee dies, all right? And we've got 5 projects right here using this bundle. Now, you may notice that some of these items have shading around them, and that's because the die will cut them out. Hi, Sonia, welcome. So any shaded piece, it means that there is a die that will cut it out, okay? All right, now let me show you, I'll show you the stamp set up close here. This is what it looks like with the beehive. And it's got lots of words. Hi, Trisha. Oh, good. You got your box that you won last Wednesday night. Good. I was a little late getting it in the mail, but I'm so glad you like it. All right. So anyway, it's got lots of nice words. We've got 2 flowers, 2 bees of different sizes, and just really cool font too. And now let me show you the dies. These are the dies. So we've got the large bee and a small bee, and these 2 little hearts, you can use this die and two little hearts will pop out of it, and they're not connected, okay? So you get 2 different size hearts. This bee right here does not have a coordinating stamp, and it's very intricate. So let me show you what he looks like. It's this bee right here, this intricate detail, okay? So not a coordinating stamp set. It kind of stands on its own, but it's really pretty. All right, let's see. We've got the honeycomb here, and when you cut with this, all those little pieces will fall out of it. And then we've got the little beehive shape, all right? And so there are 8 dies in all. And you can bundle these 2 and you'll save 10%, and it's $41.25 in US dollars, okay? So that's the honeybee set. And then the really cool thing is, if you add some cardstock to that bundle, you can earn, or you will get, this free package of the Golden Honey designer paper. It's part of Celebration. And look, there are 3 more card ideas right here. So, you know, that's a lot of ideas. It is. It's an awesome sweet cherry. It really is. So now let me show you up close what the paper looks like. And then I've got a few tricks up my sleeve as far as the paper goes. So on one side, you're going to get a black and white design, or sometimes it's white, and then the other side is going to have gold foil, okay? So here is the black and white piece, and this is the opposite side, all right? So you've got bees and beehives, okay? Then here's the next piece. This is a black and white design. And look what's on the other side, the honeycomb. Now here's something really cool with this. This honeycomb right here, remember all those little pieces will fall out. And this little piece fits right inside of this shape. So you could add some of those to your card if you wanted. But I thought that was really cool that they actually fit in it. All right. I love the gold foil accents. Now here's a flower, okay, in black and white. And then this is the opposite side. So we've got the gold again. Here's another black and white stripe design. And this is the opposite side. We've got flowers and bees and the gold foil. And here are some more flowers. They're just smaller. They're smaller versions of this flower. And look at the opposite side of this. Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. And then this is one of my favorite pieces, and we are going to use it tonight. And then on the opposite side, you're going to find the honeycomb paper, and that is in gold, okay? So with this paper, it has lots of really cool, unique pieces to it. First of all, with this particular piece of paper, and I am going to zoom in so you can see it closer, you can actually color this designer paper, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You're just going to use a Stampin' Blend, and I'm using Dark Daffodil Delight, and I am just coloring in the bee. And I could color all the bees on this piece of paper if I wanted. So isn't that neat that you can color the designer paper? Now be warned, it will seep through to the other side, okay? So just be aware of that, and that's why I didn't color the whole thing, because I might use this paper for something else. Alrighty, so I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and show you some other tricks. On this piece of paper right here, all right, which has the small beehives and bees, you can actually use our dies and cut them out. So I'll show you the dies that it goes with. It's this bee right here, all right, and it's this bee right here. So you can actually cut these bees out and put them on your cards, okay? So another really cool feature. And then this piece of paper right here, you can actually cut the flower out on 2 different sheets of paper. And I'll show you, it's this flower right here, this die, that will cut out both on there. And they're 2 separate sheets of paper, okay? This is not the same piece of paper. Now, I don't think this flower will work. I have tried the flower going in the opposite direction, and I haven't found where it actually works, okay? So I think it's only this die from what I can tell, all right? But that's a good thing for you to know. All right, and one other thing, I'm gonna bring in the Stamparatus. All right, and I've got this nice big bee right here, and that light you see is my fluorescent lighting. All right, maybe I'll just move that away just a tad. There we go. I'm going to show you a trick with the Stamparatus. Sometimes when I'm designing a card, I'll decide just to cut out like 5 or 10 bees, just to have them to put on different cards, just to see how they'll look, okay? And so I saw this idea online, and it really works. So what you're going to do is you're going to ink your bee, all right? And then we're just going to press and stamp our bee. Isn't he beautiful? And by the way, this bee is a distinctive stamp, and that means there's variation in the shading, okay? So it's not a solid image. And I love this. Stampin' Up! Is getting a patent on this design called distinctive stamping, okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my bee down, and I'm going down 2. Okay, so let's see. So this is 1, 2. There we go. So that's the spacing I want. I've got these 2 free, okay? And I'm going to ink this again and stamp again, all right? And then I'm going to go down 2 more, and I'm going to stamp again. Now, if I had thought about it, I would have used my magnets. I would have put a magnet here to hold my paper, but the paper is actually doing fine, so I'm not even going to use it. Yeah, the bee is really pretty, Carol. All right, so that's all 3 bees, right? So pretend that I have already stamped a second sheet of these bees, okay? Now, these are the same size pieces of paper, and they were stamped in the very same way, okay? So, my point is, you can take the die, and this will be the larger bee die, put this on top, roll this through the Big Shot, and it will cut out 2 bees at one time. So this would be a faster way. So if you need to cut like 25 bees, this is the way to go. And you'll get 2 cuts. The bees are in exactly the same place, so it's going to cut the both of them out, okay? Hi, Lee. Sherry asked me what ink I'm using, and that's a great question. It's the Memento Tuxedo Black, okay? And also, ladies, with this ink, we can use our Stampin' Blends, okay? And then the black will not run, all right? So keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna zoom back out here. And let's see, I think we're about ready to start our project. Also tonight, we're using the Artisan Texture Stamp Set, okay? And if you don't have the Artisan Textures, you can also use Gorgeous Grunge, okay? I'm just fiddling with the camera, ladies, all right? So you can also use Gorgeous Grunge. That's an older stamp set that has retired. So that might be another option for you, okay? But I did want you to know about that. Oh, I want to show you these cards that I created using the designer paper, okay? Now these cards are on my blog. And if you go to yesterday's blog post at www.becreativestamping.com, you will find it, okay? And I even had the measurements for the cards. So here is one of the designer papers. And the designer papers are 3-inch squares, by the way, and the basic black is 3¼ inch squares. And here's our other paper. Now with this bee, I did emboss him in gold, okay? And then of course the words are from the stamp set. Here's Celebrate Every Moment. Here's the honeycomb. So all these little octagon shapes fell out. So I decided to put some back in and glue them back in. So you can also do that, okay? So that's another option, and I did color this bee. And we're gonna color a bee tonight, so you'll see how I do it. Here's another card showcasing the designer paper. And this larger bee, I also embossed with gold embossing powder, okay? So Versamark ink and gold embossing powder. Here's another one. Now this time I didn't stamp the bee. This time I cut it out of the designer paper. And this shape right here is part of the die set, which you're gonna see tonight. It's a really nice piece. Here's another one. And this time I took my Stampin' Blends and I colored all the flowers on the paper. And then I stamped the bee in Daffodil Delight. All right. And with this designer paper, here's that intricate bee again. I showed you the die earlier. So here he is. Really classy paper. I stamped this bee and I actually just put the bee on top of one of the gold bees that's on the card. So right under this black one, there's a gold bee. Here's another one, and again, I've colored the designer paper using my Stampin' Blend, and I've been using Daffodil Delight, but you could also use So Saffron. That'll be another option. And then this cute little shape is from Stitched So Sweetly, which we're gonna use on the calendar tonight as well, okay? And here is just another card showcasing the designer paper. I've used my blends to color. I even used some Wink of Stella, which is some glitter, and we're gonna do that tonight as well. Here's the honeycomb paper. This time I took the bee die and I cut this bee out of the designer paper. So very simple, very little stamping. And again, this shape is part of the die set, the detailed bee dies. And the last one is a scripture. And this scripture was introduced to me about 3 years ago when I was designing my stamp room. I absolutely love it. And I decided to type it up on my computer, and then I printed it and I cut it out with Stitch So Sweetly dies. And it says, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healing to the body. And it's from Proverbs 16:24. And so this Friday on my blog, ladies, if you would like the scripture, it will be there under the video, okay? This Friday on my blog, supply list and a file for the scripture, okay? Thank you, Carol. I'm so glad you like the cards. All right, glad you girls like them. Okay, so now we're actually ready to start our project. The neat thing about this calendar is, I'm just trying to unstack these cards. The neat thing about the calendar is, it's the size of a greeting card. So it actually fits in an envelope. How cool is that? So I'm going to show you how to cut it so that you can get 2 calendars out of 1 sheet of cardstock. All right, so I'm going to grab my cardstock. It's basic black. And I'm going to grab my trimmer right here. Okay. And I'm actually going to score my paper first, okay? And I'm going to score it at 5.5 inches. And that's the middle of the paper. So it's right in the center. And I'm using the scoring tool to do that, okay? And then I'm going to rotate the paper to the 8.5 inch side. And I'm going to cut at 4.25 inches, just like I'm creating a card base. Same thing. And then I'm going to cut again. And ladies, now I have 2 card bases, or I have 2 calendars. Hi, Laura, welcome. All right, so either 2 card bases or 2 calendars, either way, okay? So now you know how to create it. And Laura may just be joining us. I'm going to show the calendar one more time. This is a 12-month calendar that we're creating tonight. And this is the opposite side. And it even has a little stand so it can stand up all year on your desk. Okay? All right, well, let's get started with some stamping. And I have put everything in a bag here because I don't want to lose all these little pieces. And we are going to ink our beehive in Daffodil Delight. All right. So I'm going to ink this up. All right, my table is shaking. And then I'm going to stamp it right here. All right. And that's my little Daffodil Delight beehive. All right. I'm so glad you like it, Laura. That's great. I made these in Hostess Clubs this month for all my clubs. And then at our team meeting last night, everybody had the chance to make one. So, and now we're going to use our black Memento ink. And we're going to use this cute little bee. Now, ladies, this bee also has a variation of color, okay? So it's not a solid image. And I'm so glad Stampin' Up! Designed the bees that way because I think they're more realistic looking. All right. And I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see those images better. And now I'm going to stamp this flower, all right? Again, in the black ink, the black Memento ink, okay? So that's actually all the stamping of the shapes that need to be cut out. But there's a little more stamping we're gonna do, so I'll just move this out of the way, okay? And the next piece I'm going to bring out is this stitched circle. And this is from the Stitched Shapes dies. Thank you, Sonia. I'm glad you like the project. And this is probably the largest circle. I didn't bring those over to my table tonight, but I think that's from the largest circle. And I've got a few more pieces I'm going to get out that need stamping. All right. Okay. Alrighty, so now I am going to ink up wishing you sunshine and happiness. All right. And making sure I've got enough ink on the back. When you go to stamp this, you want your words right under the stitching, all right? And it's kind of hard for me to see what I'm stamping, so I'm going to hold my breath and hope I'm doing it right. Yes, although my Y didn't want to turn out too well. So what I would suggest for that is taking our Stampin' Right marker, which are our original markers. We've had those in our line for a long time. And you can actually just take the marker and bring that up, and you'll have the letter Y and the letter O. So no big deal. Another option is to flip it over. So I'll try that. We'll see how that looks. And if I don't like it, then I'll just go back to the original one. All right. And I'm just pressing firmly. Oh, well, that turned out beautifully. So we'll go with that side, and I won't need the marker. All right. Okay, now for this piece of paper, I'm going to need to stamp. Let me find the words. It's going to be thinking of you, sweet friend. And I keep covering up my black ink, and then I have to uncover it. Okay. All right, now, I don't always get this straight first time around. Oh, wow, I did okay that time, good. Usually it takes me 4 tries and I finally have it stamped right, finally. So you're not the only one. All right, I'll zoom out just a little, and I'm looking for one more piece in here. All right. It's this piece right here, and this die is with the detailed bees, okay? It's a really awesome little shape. And we're going to use Celebrate Every Moment, and I thought that was perfect because it's an annual calendar. So we do want to celebrate every moment, even the little ones, right? All right, and I'm going to try and stamp this straight. There we go. And now that piece is done. And I think we've stamped all the pieces that are needed. Okay, so these are the stamped pieces here. And now I'm going to bring in my So Saffron cardstock. Hi, Chris, welcome. We're making a calendar tonight. All right, so this is where I'm going to use the Artisan Textures. And I'm going to use So Saffron ink, and I'm going to use 2 of the stamped images, okay? So I'm going to use this one. I'm just creating a background. So you can see the background here. When I was designing this, it was plain So Saffron cardstock, and I just felt that it needed something, but I didn't want to emboss it. And so this just gives it a little bit of texture and I think a little bit more interest. Okay, so that was the reason for that. Again, if you have Gorgeous Grunge, go for it. You can certainly use that. And I'm just randomly stamping. No right or wrong here. And then I'm going to take this stamped image from Artisan Textures, and I'm going to fill in the spaces. And I think I really need to add some ink to my So Saffron. Most of this is covered up, so you really don't have to worry about it too much, all right? And so I'll kind of show you what I did. All right, and I'm going to let it go at that. I'll show you one more time. I know sometimes with the lighting, it can be really hard to see. All right. Okay, well now I think we're about ready to start putting our calendar together. And so we are going to start with this card base. Remember, it's a standard card base, so it fits in an envelope. All right. And then we're going to add the So Saffron. So I'm actually going to bring this one in so you can see what we're doing. I'm going to use snail. Please let me know if you have any questions. Again, the supply list as well as the scripture and the Facebook replay will all be on my blog this Friday. And I think that's January 31st. It'll be the last day of January. All right. All right, so that little piece is on. And now we're going to get the scripture out. Again, it's cut with Stitch So Sweetly die. I created it on the computer, and I will have a file for you in case you would like to create some of these for different things. I sent out a bunch of cards just a few days after Christmas. It was actually a bunch of sympathy cards. And I actually took these and I put them on the back of the cards. I don't know. I just thought it was really sweet. And, you know, we're in the business of sending cards. And, you know, we're sending kind words. And they are sweet, sweet to the soul and healing to the body, just like our cards. And so that's why I, you know, had that on the, that's why I had it on the back of the card. All right, so we've got this little basic black layer right here. I did pop this up. You can use snail if you want, okay? All right, and I'm not gonna put that on yet. We're gonna work on this circle first, okay? So here's my circle, and we are going to pop up this white stitch circle onto the basic black scallop circle, all right? And this scallop is coming from layering circles, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna pull off the paper here. All of this is going to get popped up. The beehive, the bee, the flower, it will all get popped up, okay? All right, so that piece is done. And I've already taken the time to cut out a beehive, so you didn't have to wait for me to do that with the Big Shot. These are standard dies. You'll use your magnetic platform, a cutting pad, your paper and die, and another cutting pad. So very basic cutting. So there's our beehive. And ladies, somebody's gonna win this tonight. How awesome is that? Someone is taking this home. Oh, we do need to color our flower, okay? And so I'll do that real quick with Stampin' Blends. Now my flower is already on a dimensional. I would certainly recommend coloring your flower before putting the dimensional on, okay? And it won't be so rocky. But by putting the dimensional on first, I save just a little bit of time so we can spend it on other things. I'll zoom in so you can see a little better. I love the fact that we can use our blends to color designer paper. And I love that our stamp sets, we have so many options now for coloring stamped images that we didn't have before. So, I mean, the blends are just like a must-have. All right, so the flower's on. This is the sample. We're gonna work on the words next. And look how long my banner is. I'm going to cut some of this off, get rid of that. And then I am going to, actually I'm gonna cut a little more off. I want a little bit shorter. That's probably too short. All right, so I'm gonna snip this right in the center, and then I'm going to cut towards the center, and I cut from the point into the center. It seems like lately we've made lots of banners. I love banners. And I'm gonna leave this because our little bee is gonna get popped up on this side, okay? So it's time for me to put some dimensionals behind this. Let's see here. I'm going to put one there. I think I'm just going to put one dimensional because I don't want it to interfere with the flower. So one dimensional, and then I'm going to line that up. See, if I had put a dimensional right there, it would have interfered with the flower and it would have been popped up like this, and we don't want that. All right, now let's color our bee, and I'm using the dark Daffodil Delight. Another great option is light daffodil, or blend the two of them. And if you don't have daffodil, then go ahead and use So Saffron. It'll be a little bit lighter, but it will still look like a bee. And while I'm coloring bees, I'm going to do both of them, okay? So let me get the stripes on this little guy. He is just the cutest. Okay, so his stripes are done. And then I'm going to use the dark mint macaron for the wings. Now I know this sounds unusual, but this was actually, mint macaron was used on one of the samples in the Celebration book. And I thought, you know what? If Stampin' Up! Can use it for their wings, I can use it for my wings, right? All right, so there's the wings. I'll hold them up to the camera in just a second so that you can see them better. All right, and we're gonna get this other wing done. And then I'll hold it up so that you can see. See that? And we're gonna put some Wink of Stella on it in just a bit, all right? So if you're watching tonight, be sure to comment so that I can put your name in the drawing for tonight's calendar. Also share. When you share, you get an extra entry into the drawing for the calendar. So you get one for commenting and one for sharing. All right, so now I'm just adding that precious little bee. How cute is that? Ladies, this could be the front of a card. All right, so I'm going to add some snail. All right, whoops. All right, it took my paper and everything. Hang on, wow, the snail really grabbed the cardstock. So let me just wind this just a little and get past that. Okay, it's doing it again. I think it's doing it because I already have everything popped up. And so it's a little bit hard for me to put snail on it because it's popped up. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use some Tombow. That'll hold it, right? All right. I think if the circle was flat, the snail would have worked fine. Actually, I know it would because that's how I've been making them. All right, so we're back, and now we're going to add this beehive to the card, okay? And I like to put this on first because then I know where to center this, okay? Thanks for sharing, everybody. All right, so let me just wind this snail one more time, see if it will behave. There we go, much better. Okay. And now our kind words, we're going to center it right along here, all right? And we've gotten this side of the calendar done. Now I'm gonna run, I can either use my scissor points or my bone folder. I wanna make sure that Tombow is sticking nicely. So I'm just taking my bone folder and making sure that it is sticking, all right? So what do you think of this side? I hope you like it. Thank you, Debbie, I'm glad you like it. All right, I'm gonna zoom out just a little and we're gonna flip on over to the other side. So when we do that, we actually have the calendar on this side. And I'm gonna open it up so that I don't smush this side, okay? All right, so now we're ready to add our gold foil sheet. And all of these measurements will be on the supply list, and I'll actually post them as well after tonight's broadcast. How about that? Okay, so I've got tape on the snail. Thank you, Margaret. And I'm just going to center this. And I can tell you the gold foil is 4 inches by 5 1/4. It's just like putting this on a card front, okay? That's all it is. Next is designer paper. And we're using the honeycombs. And I actually cut this honeycomb paper at 2 inches and separated it. And so that way I could have my honeycomb at the top and I could put my cute little bees at the bottom, all right? And so that's what we're gonna do now. And you know, I just thought of this. I could have even colored the bees on the calendar. It never occurred to me until right now. So I'm gonna add snail again. All right, and then I've got about 1/8 of an inch all the way around that designer paper, okay? So let me show you that. About 1/8 of an inch all the way around, all right? And then we're gonna add the honeycomb. Carol, I'm glad you like the project and the verse. Thank you. All right, and yeah, the file, when you print out the Bible verse, the words will be in the center of a standard sheet of paper, okay? They'll be in the center, and you trim off the left and the right, and then you just cut out, the verses using the die. Or you could just use your paper cutter and cut them out if you wanted, okay? All right, so we're gonna separate this little area here, and we're gonna do that with this piece of cardstock, all right? Didn't I tell you there were 1,000 pieces? But it's worth it, right? Definitely worth it. I am gonna use the grid paper to help me line this up, and I think I'm going to put this, where do I wanna put it? I guess I'll put it about here. I'm sure I've done it differently on every calendar. Hang on, let me get my paper straight on the grid paper. Do you all ever use your grid paper to line up paper? Hi, Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. I'm so glad you like the tutorials. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'll remind everybody on Friday on Facebook to head over to my blog to get the files. I can't leave the files on the Facebook page. There's nowhere for me to do that. So that's why on Fridays I post everything. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's go ahead. What do we want to do next? Let's do this calendar. Now with the calendar, it is a bit heavy. And so I decided to use some tear and tape here, okay? And now I'm going to just pull this off like this. You can also use your take your pick tool to get this paper off. Okay, hang tight. One little piece got stuck. Whoops. All right, there we go. I think I'm gonna add some more, ladies. Let's put some more on the sides, okay? I just feel better doing that. We'll put that there. And one more piece. And what's really nice about this is if you're in a hurry, you can just tear this with your fingers. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get this off and this off, okay? And this little piece here, we're going to center this right on here, okay? Now, you may be wondering, where did you get the calendars? Ladies, they're very inexpensive. They come in a package of 10 for like $4. And the company is www.tailoredexpressions.com. And they're a really small little company and they're very accommodating, okay? All right, so you can see that I've put tear and tape here as well because this is gonna stand up all year and I really want this to be substantial, all right? So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna go ahead again and put some on the sides because I don't wanna have to repair this, you know, come June. I want this to stay. All right. And one more piece. We are almost done. Thank you all for hanging in there. All right. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to center this, but I also want to pay attention to this piece, okay? Because remember, I still need room for this piece. So this is going to go up here, and this is going to go here, okay? And so I'm probably going to put this about here. All right. Okay, and so that piece is done, and now I know another strip. Hi, Betsy, welcome. Here's another strip. I told you this thing had 1,001 pieces. So one little strip of snail. Then you're gonna center this right here, okay? And then you're gonna pop it up. So let's put some dimensionals along here. All right. And if anyone is just joining and you've missed the first part, don't worry. After the video, you can go back and watch it on the replay, okay? So you'll have that option. And of course, on Friday, it'll be over on my blog. All right, so now this piece is ready. And I'll put this about right there. Okay, and we have that bee. Remember that bee? He's already colored with Stampin' Blends. And he's gonna be popped up right there, all right? Now, we're gonna go ahead and use some Wink of Stella, and I'm just very gently going to rub this on here, and then our little bee will be glistening. He'll be all shiny. He'll almost be like a lightning bug. So you can kind of see the shimmer. And I'll go over here to this side and do this one. Okay. Isn't he just the cutest? He is the cutest bee. Look at that. All right, now we have one more thing to do, and that's to create the stand so that it will stand up. So see the stand? That's what we're doing next, okay? All righty. This is our stand here, and it has 3 score lines. And so what you want to do here is you want to create this so that, this is really hard to see because it's black paper. Do you see the letter W? Okay. You want the letter W. You want that to be a mountain in the center. That's the mountain that I'm talking about, okay? And there's letter W, all right? Squish this together, and this is where you want to put the tear and tape on both sides. So, letter W right here, trying to get a good angle for you. Letter W, squish it together, tear and tape, tear and tape. Got it? So that's how that goes. And then I am going to remove this. All right. Here we go. All right. And I'll get this little piece off here. Let's see here. And again, you can use your take your pick tool. I have one of those too. I could use that. And we're going to pull off this side. Hang tight, almost there. All right. Okay, and so now that that is done, okay, I still have letter W, all right? And what I'm going to do is, let me make sure I'm doing it right. Yep, okay. So now we are going to attach this to the bottom of the calendar. So see how I just attached that? It's now attached. All right. And then I'm going to bring this over. And it's really hard to see because it's basic black cardstock. And again, I want these two ends to meet. All right. Hang tight. I'm trying to do it so you all can see it as well. All right, here we go. All right, we got it. And then this fold goes up. And then the calendar sits up. All right. So here's the front of our honeybee calendar. And I will go on. I'll just show you the first page right here. Okay, there's January. All right. And you know what you can do? You can take your highlighter and highlight Wednesday nights, because that's the night we have Facebook Live at 7:30. All right. And then here is the opposite side. All right, so I will draw a name tonight for someone to take this home, okay? And I'll be able to get that mailed out tomorrow. I do have only a few announcements. I just want to remind everyone that next Tuesday, February 4th, there are some new products coming. All right, so I'm just going to show you those quickly, okay? If we're in our mini, and hopefully I can find these because I actually did not bookmark this. On page 23, ladies, the stamp set Positive Thoughts, you'll be able to purchase the dies for $29. The dies are available while supplies last or March 31. So if this is one of your favorite stamp sets, you might want to consider the dies, okay? And there's one other one in here that I want to share. And this one's such a cutie. It's those cute little animals. And hopefully my book will just fall open to it. Here it is. So right here, the special someone, they're going to be coordinating dies for this stamp set. Available while supplies last or March 31. The dice will be $29, okay? All right, now let's move over to Celebration. And these are some other coordinating products that you'll be able to purchase beginning Tuesday. So let's see here. Let's keep flipping. The birthday dies, and I actually showed everybody the dies for this last Wednesday night. The dies will cut out all 3 flowers at one time. There's also a die for the cake stand, and there's a die for the entire thing, including the cake. All right, and are there 2 banners? No, I don't think there are any banners for this one. I'm thinking of another set. So the dies you can purchase for $27, and it's available till March 31 or while supplies last, okay? And now we're gonna move on over to Sending Flowers. There's going to be a die set that's coming out that coordinates with the words. But it also has a beautiful round die, and it has flowers in it. And when you cut it out with that die, the flowers come out with it. It's really, really cool. I think this is going to be in demand. It also has 2 banners where you can cut out all the words with those banners. So the Sending Flowers dies, and I'm sorry I don't have it here on my table. It's available for $27, available February 4th through March 31 or while supplies last, okay? Now, if you're one of my customers and you want to place that order on February 4, you can do that in my online store, or you can email or call me, okay? And we'll get it ordered for you while it's here, while it's available. Oh, and also the Ladybug stamp set. This little girl's free with a $300 workshop order or a $300 online purchase, okay? Now, the dies are coming out on Tuesday. You can buy the dies for $29, okay? Available through March 31 or while supplies last. And I have a feeling they're going to be gone in no time, all right? So just a reminder, if you would like to place an order in my online store, this is my hostess code for the month of January. So this will end on Friday. And when you spend $35 in my store, you earn a bee. And when you've earned 10 bees, you'll receive $35 in free product redeemable at the end of the month. Oh yes, Joanne, don't forget to order the ladybug dies. I had a large class on Saturday called Peaceful Poppies. And I gave away the ladybug stamp set as one of the prizes. And Joanne, who's watching tonight, won it. So she needs the ladybug dies. And the dies, Joanne, and for everybody else, I've kind of lost them now. There's a die for each ladybug. So you'll be able to cut out all of those ladybugs. All right. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me tonight. I will be back next Wednesday night at 7:30. Who knows what we'll do? I've got to think of something. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But thanks for hanging in there with me tonight and for sharing your time with me. And remember, kind words are like honey. They are sweet to the soul and they're healing to the body. And that's exactly what our cards do. All right. So have a great week and I'll see you then. Bye.